up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang. In here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and resident superstar, Adrian Holmes. How's it going, Adrian?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself, Garrett?
I am doing very good.
That's good.
I'm actually drinking some delicious tea out of our Super Gamer Boys mug that you can get at sgbstore.com. But I didn't just do that just to show off our sweet merch. I also want to talk about the sweet tea I have in there. So Trader Joe's has a mango black tea.
I'm listening.
And so I threw one of those bags in there, and I'm probably gonna get shamed by the tea community, because what I do is I literally throw the bag in there, I just leave it. Like, I don't do the steep for 5 minutes, take it out, throw it away. It has to be at the right temperature, none of that. I just like throw it in there. It could be in there for 5 minutes, it could be in there for 5 hours. I don't care. But anyways, so it's still in there, the little bag of this mango black tea bag, instant tea, and then a touch of honey. Oh man, let me tell you, this is like the most delicious tea you'll ever drink. Like, I'm absolutely loving this. I want to go get more, but now we started the show, so I can't. But I just want to share that. So if you guys have a Trader Joe's nearby, go get the mango black tea, because it's freaking killer.
You gotta celebrate the little victories, you know. And how are you tonight, JJ? JJ, are you there? Oh, looky here. Look who's not in the studio again.
Hum. Man, what? It's almost like there's just no respect. Absolutely no respect.
He made a commitment. You know what I mean? One, missing a show here or there, forgivable. Understandable. It happens, you know?
Yep.
But you almost died and you're here.
Yeah.
What's his excuse?
I was still on the show. I hosted the show.
Right.
I was literally
You were
still
in the
dying.
throes of death.
Yeah.
And you still showed up. What's
he can't even bother to say hey, you know? He's
never seen a more hardworking bum in all my life. We'll leave it right there.
Oh man. Yeah, so of course, as you viewers can see, JJ is not here. You listeners, now you know. And again, he's out just doing this, chasing that cash. He just can't get enough of it. He goes and sells his house for billions of dollars in California, moves to Nebraska, where he can, just basically
chill out.
Pennies for a house. He could literally retire early, and here he is. He's like, nope, gotta go get a job.
He could have bought that zoo by now.
He could have bought the zoo. It could have been like that movie. Isn't there a movie was it like Mark Wahlberg or Matt Damon? Matt Damon. That's who it is.
It probably was Mark. I don't know.
No, I think it was Matt Damon. We bought a zoo.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you. Don't make a liar out of me.
We bought a zoo, 2011 film with Matt Damon.
Why did you look it up?
I don't know what it's about. I've never seen it. I just remember that was the name of the movie. Is We Bought a Zoo. So there you go. Go check that out on your favorite streaming service.
Go check out We Bought a Zoo.
Maybe we can just turn this episode into a
Super
watch
Gamer
along.
Boys, thank you today to our sponsor, We Bought a Zoo. From 2011.
Make sure you use code SGB rules, and then we get a little bit of a kickback over at Amazon Prime. You know.
Keyword zoo.
Keyword zoo.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yep. Oh, we're off to a good start here, man. Whew, it's getting hot in here. I might need to take this hoodie off. Oh man. Yeah. So no JJ today. How's your week been though? It's anything crazy happen? Normally we have JJ here to carry us through the intro. He's not here, but how are you doing?
We
you
just
doing all right?
killed that intro.
I feel like we did pretty good cold open.
No,
there.
I mean Monday with anybody's job, Monday always Mondays, and Monday definitely Monday today. But I'm, trying to be positive, looking for a smooth rest of the week. So
now here I will pause the question here. Would you rather a Monday, or would you want a Monday to like Wednesday or Thursday or Friday? Like, think about it. Like, what if it was Monday and all day you're like, man, today was great. Felt like the end of the week. Like, I feel like that would be more disappointing to be like, if it feels like a Friday all day, then you realize tomorrow, like, shoot, it's only Tuesday, right? Like, I'd almost rather a Monday feel like be very Monday-ish.
You know what? I started off with that question. Like, there's no way I would do that. But now that you mention it, I guess I would want Monday, because Monday being a Monday makes Friday being a Friday more rewarding. So you might be onto something there.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd rather Mondays be very Monday-ish than go all day being like, man, it feels like a Friday today. And then
man,
be like,
this was a great day. I got to do this 4 more times.
There's still a whole week. Are you kidding me? Oh, man, that would suck. All right. Let's move on before I, act shill for some other movie I've never seen before.
From 10 years ago.
Today we're talking about Sony making some big moves. How we may
Sony bought a zoo.
So how Sony bought a zoo. How we may be getting another Kirby game. No zoo in that one. And EA making more Star Wars games. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Quote Joma and Bleep Bloop, and our Super Gamer
sponsors. A good rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Toby. He's a real one. We appreciate all the love and support, and just like yep, you're in here,
my boy.
You'll always be right here, near and dear to my heart. And our wallets, you did support us financially, but I'll keep those last couple dollars close to my wallet, which is.
But we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't mention that now leaves the position open.
Yeah, I mean now it was one of those things where we didn't have openings before, but we got a bunch of Patreon producers. But now that they've been filled, now we have to keep them filled. So we need someone to step up. We need 3 Patreon producers. That's how it works. And also, we're that much farther away now from our goal of doing our bonus show. We were this close to doing our SGB. I don't remember what we were going to name the thing. The After Dark show we were going to do.
Super Later Boys.
I was super excited for Super Later Boys. We're this close, but yeah.
We should just put one in the can, and then put it up, and then just block it.
Dangle it in front of everyone and be like, hey, see this? You
just
can
upload it and then just restrict it for everybody.
Oh man, yes. Also, a quick shout out to our Patreon, our Super Gamer sponsors. We got Julie Bates and Mama Mare. We appreciate you guys as well. If you want to be awesome, just like those folks, and again, and help us get to that goal, get that $100 goal, go to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us monthly, starting at just $1 a month, or like we just said, we have a Patreon producer tier, $15 a month, where you can get different perks such as episodes early and ad-free. You can get show notes early. You can get shout outs at the show. And if you're a producer, you get to pitch us segments as well that we'll do during their show. Super Indie Boys was one of Adrian's. Quote Joma pitched us on the Tall Tales of JJ. So yeah, support us over there. Super Gamer Book Club. That's one of the shows that you do get early and ad-free. A new one came out this last Friday. It is Metroid Dread featuring Nerd Dad Zetch himself, Zetch Keenan, rest in peace, and fantastic guest host, first-time guest host, I should say, first-time guest, Patrick Ellers from, the Nintendo Cartridge Society?
Yep.
And Connor McCabe from Call Me By Your Game.
Both fantastic gentlemen.
Fantastic people. Awesome shows. So go check their shows out too. Regardless.
Zetch, of course, was great as well.
That goes without saying. He was fine.
I appreciate everybody for coming on. That was an awesome episode.
That was a fun one.
I loved having all the different perspectives because I feel like that really fueled a lot of different discussion. that we didn't get to have the first time when I did it with just Connor and Patrick. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, so support us at our Patreon so you can get that early. Otherwise, you got to wait a few months. So, and speaking of our free feed, Cadence of Hyrule featuring Trouser Schnauzer is now free. So go to youtube.com/supergamerboys or on any podcast service, just do a search for Super Gamer Book Club and you'll find that feed. That one's up for free right now. That came out 2-3 months ago. That's a fantastic episode as well. Blast.
His first ever podcast, if you can believe it.
Really?
Yes, he
That's
had never done a.
Okay.
We got his debut. That's right. He had never done a podcast before that.
So we'll
and
be in.
Loved it.
We'll be on his Wikipedia page one day. Then when he makes it big, and they're like,
when he breaks
podcast
out,
debut was on the Super Gamer Boys Super Gamer Book Club episode. Everyone's gonna be like, the who, the what?
Who?
Oh man, but we'll talk more about our Patreon later. I also want to give a quick shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. So if you haven't noticed, in the background now, we have a little music subtly in the background. During our streams, it's in the pre and post show that kind of happen. So yeah, go check them on Spotify. Links are in the description on YouTube and our podcast feed here. Now it's time to check the mail.
Now, on the subject of the mailbag, it is here.
Mm-hmm.
It is in the building. However, I'm going to choose to call an audible, and I will wait for Mr. Purdom to come back before I debut it. He was very excited about the mailbag.
You just need more time to bedazzle it, huh?
Just listen.
Get those googly
Don't worry
eyes.
about what I'm doing with the mailbag, okay?
Oh, I don't like it when you say it like that.
Don't worry about what I said with, not to.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be good.
All righty. I just want to bring up real quick in the chat. I thought it was funny. Ranger Shadow says, wait, the money doesn't all go to JJ? Our Patreon support.
No, he's too busy chasing money. Why would we give him more? He can't even show up. We're going to pay him for not showing up?
Kajoma says, I hope not. Oh, my gosh. All right, well, let's get into this mailbag then. I'll just bring up the old digital mailbag. No big deal.
Thank you.
All right. This first question comes from Bumple Smash, and they ask, since Elden Ring is coming out soon, which, if any Souls games have you guys played, and which ones would you like to play? If you have played them, which one is your favorite? I'll go ahead and start this one and just say, I have only played Bloodborne. I really loved Bloodborne, but you're going to hear this next part and be like, did you really love it? And did you actually really play it?
You stopped playing and you forgot
I
how
stopped
to play.
playing. Oh, yeah. I stopped playing and I forgot how to play it. But I am very bad at video games. Everyone knows that on this podcast. And so, yeah, it was one of those things where I jumped in. I'm like, I love this, like the aesthetics, the art, like direction, everything about this. The lore around it, super crazy. And then I was like, oh, this is a really hard game. And when I got stuck at this part for like at least a couple hours, I finally was like, no, I'm done. I turned off the console and I never played it again. So if you ask me which one was my favorite one, I think aesthetically, I love Bloodborne the best. And hypothetically, it might be one of my favorite games of all time, but I just can't beat it.
You'll never know.
I'll never know. As far as Elden Ring, I am really interested in that too. Like, that looks pretty dope. I like the direction of that. But again, like, do I want to spend $70 on a game that I probably definitely will not be able to beat? Like, I don't know if I can justify that. So,
well,
I don't know.
Thank
We'll
goodness
see.
you didn't get Sekiro then, because my goodness, you might
I
have
did.
had you did?
I purchased Sekiro. Yeah, I purchased Sekiro thinking like, oh, this game looks awesome too. I jumped in there. They just wiped the floor with me. Like,
You wanted to have an aneurysm then, is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
because that's what that
no.
game will give you.
I'm a glutton for punishment. I mean, I do a podcast with you and JJ, so
Fair point.
I come back each and every week for you guys to abuse
Fair
me,
point. Fair point.
no, yeah, I forget. I did play Sekiro. I always forget it's from Software because it's exclusive to PlayStation, right? So in my head, I guess they all
PC.
are though. It is on PC.
I think it's on PC. Yeah.
You might be right about that, yeah. But yeah, I guess I did play that, and I really like that one too. But Bloodborne still is like there's something about the creepy, weird, dark vibe. I'm like, okay, I'm about this.
I get you. I played a little bit of Demon Souls on PS3 back in the day. I don't remember if there was something that came out that pulled my attention, or if I did like you and put it down, but it wasn't because out of frustration that I put it down. I feel like it was because something came out. I don't know if it was also on PS3 or if there was another game that dropped, and when I came back to it, I didn't have the touch anymore.
Yeah.
And then I played Dark Souls remastered on Switch when that came out. And it's really rad to be able to have a Dark Souls game, a full like Dark Souls experience anywhere with you.
Now does that play halfway decent? Like I just feel
Yeah.
like I mean
it's
an
a
old game, but
PS3 game, so you would
yeah.
logically think it would be able to run on Switch hardware just because of the power difference.
Right.
But Square Enix would have you think otherwise about other games that we won't name, that were PS3 games and somehow can't run on Switch hardware.
PlayStation 2 game even.
Excuse me. Yes, that's right.
Switch can't handle it. No way.
Switch, they can't do it. I mean,
absolutely impossible.
You know, they can run the full Witcher 3 and Doom Eternal, but God, Kingdom Hearts? Nah, can't do it.
Nope. Impossible.
But that is about as far as I've gotten so far with Souls games. I know that there is a Dark Souls 2 and 3, but I haven't got around to them.
Like when I first got my PS5, I was like this close to even getting the Demon Souls remake. Because again, that like it looks really cool. It looks gorgeous, but as soon as like someone told me like, no, Demon Souls was notorious for being like one of the harder ones. I'm just like, dang it, you're kidding me. Like, all right, never mind. Like, if I can't get through Bloodborne and I can't get through Sekiro, like, why do I?
But
think
it's
I'm
a
get
beautiful
through
way to tear your hair out. You can tear your hair out in 4K.
It looks. I think I was watching the Real Dan. Actually, he's in the chat right now. The Real Dan stream it when he first got it, and I think I even said to him like, dude, this looks so good. Like, had me so stoked, but I haven't pulled the trigger. I put it in my wish list. If it goes on sale, I might get it at a discount. But I don't want to pay full price for something I know I'm not gonna. I'm definitely not gonna be. I do that enough already with games that I think I might be, and then I don't. This one I know for sure I won't beat, so I'd rather pay a discount.
Can I counterpoint with some classify Fallen Order as a Souls-like?
But
and you did beat that.
Fallen Order does have difficulty levels. Like I eventually beat it by kind of turning it down to like story mode, basically.
Oh, see, I was trying to make a case for you being good at games, and you stepped right on that rake.
I'm a man of integrity, and I will not
some
lie.
would say you are not, based on recent events. But hey, what can we do?
You know what?
Well, that's a story for another day.
Go to the Discord if you want to read that saga. No, yeah, I will admit I did not play that on even a normal difficulty. I think I put on the easiest difficulty. I'm like, forget this. Like, this game's hard. I mean, I think I probably could have beat on normal, but I also at that point was just trying to speedrun and finish games quickly because I wanted to beat Zech and the backlog challenge, and he still beat me. So there you go. You're welcome, Zech.
Are you going to do that full stream this year? The backlog challenge?
I mean, I'm a part of it. I did tell him I wanted to be a part of it, but I don't think I'm going to.
I don't see how you can do it the same way with a full time, like a job you have to pay attention to.
Yeah, now that I have a job that I have to pay attention to, I don't think I could actually. Yeah, now that I'm long gone from another job and I've been fired, I can say whatever I want. I was playing video games at work.
You were living the life, man. You were living the life.
I did not get fired because I was playing games at work, which is ironic. I got fired because there was two people doing the same job, one person's job, and they realized like, wait a second, we don't need to be
Why
paying
are
two
we
people to do
paying
the
two
same
people?
And I was like, yeah, good question. I've been wondering that for 6 months.
Oh man, scheming.
Oh man, but Boba in the chat, help me find the saga. Just go to what you plan and scroll back to like what was it, Saturday. Have a good long read.
Have fun.
Very, very long read. All right, let's get on to the next question here. Quote Joma asks, what Star Wars character would you want to get their own show?
Ooh, that's a good question. A lot of them that I did want ended up getting one. Oh, I know one. I don't know if you watched the anime anthology that came out recently, the Visions.
Yes.
The one with the rock band.
Yeah.
I want them to get their own series. I think that would be so
one.
good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Like,
what is their name?
Like,
Star.
They like got the death penalty or whatever, and they're like, let's like rock our way out of this.
And they killed it.
Freaking Jabba the Hutt. There's like,
and Jabba's headbanging. Oh man, it was so
when
good.
his little tail thump like to
Yeah.
the beat. I'm like, yeah, they got him. Oh, I love that. Go check out Star Wars Visions. That's a fantastic show. Like, because the episodes are like what, like 15 minutes long,
if that.
And they're not, none of them are connected, but that just makes it so fun. Like, it's just people like run wild, like use your imagination, like just do cool stuff. And like even the first episode, like the all black and white, the freaking umbrellas lightsaber thing that the guy has, like stuff like that. Like
every episode is
yeah,
fantastic.
The imagination that went into those shows is absolutely amazing. So yeah, go watch Star Wars Visions.
You got one?
For me, I think a lot of times I think ahead of time. I gotta get my answers ready ahead of time before we start the show. This week I didn't, so I'm right here with you. I'm thinking about it here on the spot. I think if I wanted anything, it would have to be. So I want to throw things out there, and then I'm like, well, I think they're actually already making a show of that. Like, that's the problem. Like, they're actually doing a really good job about coming out with a lot of cool stuff lately. I don't know if I'd want a whole show about it, but in the new Boba Fett series, very, very minor spoilers. I don't know if it's really spoiler, but they are doing a really cool thing there where they're humanizing Tusken Raiders in some episodes. Like you're just learning a lot more about them and like what makes them tick, which is really interesting. And I always wanted that same thing. And again, this is just another creature on Tatooine, but for the Jawas, like what's the deal with the Jawas there? Like they're just like pissing people off, stealing their stuff, tearing things apart. Like I don't know if I want a whole show about it, but I want a show to touch on that, like that people, and like what's the deal there? Like why do they suck so bad? Like because even
why do the Jawas suck so bad?
Yeah, like what is their deal? Like I just want to know their deal. I don't know if I want a whole show, but I definitely want like a few episodes where they touch on like humanize them a little bit and kind of like help us understand like their point of view.
That's gonna be tough, man.
I'm really curious, like what I mean before Boba Fett show, you'd probably think the same thing about Tusken Raiders though too, right? And they've done pretty cool. I think they've done a pretty cool thing in that show.
Well, the Mandalorian kind of touched on that too.
Mandalorian, though. Yeah, Mandalorian did it too, exactly. And so, I don't know. Again, I don't know if I'd want a whole show, but I definitely like. I would love.
I
to
like
get
that you're
some
thinking
story.
out there, and you didn't just straight up go, I want a Darth Vader show, or I want a Luke Skywalker show.
I want a Jar Jar Binks show. That's what I want.
Enough.
Give me the Jar Jar.
We have a Darth Vader show. It's the movies. Relax.
Go play Vader Immortal.
Yeah, do that. That's a good Vader show.
All right, next question. Normcore Eddie asks, what is the best... Now, this is an editor's note here. He says, what is the best Otter Pop flavor?
Yes, that's
But
what.
they're actually called Icy Pop. So what's the
I'm
best
ready
Icy
to
Pop
divide the Discord on this. They are called Otter Pops.
It's a nice
They've
pop.
always been called Otter Pops.
Always, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
When you buy, I think the brand name in New York is Pop Ice, but we always called it Ice Pop because
Pop Ice. How creative.
Yeah, but it's an icy pop.
Anyway, go ahead.
You wanted me to go first because this is gonna this will change whether we're friends or not. Apparently, this is very.
I didn't say it would change. I said
stakes.
it would change how I view you. How I
high
view your
stakes
taste.
here. High stakes here on the question. So, my favorite flavor was always blue.
Oh, thank God. Woo!
I think in number 2 would be green.
Okay, not a bad one. I would have went with red, but I'll let you have it.
I was never a huge fan of red because if it was strawberry, then I'm all about it. But if it was cherry, I'm not a cherry person. Like
of anything.
Of anything.
Not
I
even
do not like
Pop-Tarts?
cherry. No way. Get out of here.
Wow.
I hate cherry. Cherry flavored things. I've never had a good cherry flavored thing. So if it's strawberry, I'm in. Or I think even there's a pink one that's like almost like a pink lemonade or something like that.
Yeah.
That one was good. That one was really good. But yeah, blue.
And they did a green apple one for a little while.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I ever had that.
Yeah, no, blue is for unequivocally the best. No doubt. My dad used to get so mad because he would buy a pack of Otter Pops. He's like, "Where's all the blue ones?"
And you're just like blue teeth, blue tongue, blue mouth. Like,
I don't know. They didn't give us any of this pack.
This is very weird. Now, growing up in New York, they might have had these in California too. Did they have these drinks called Hugs? They're plastic little containers.
Look like almost like an apple, kind of.
No, it looked like a barrel, like a wooden barrel, but they're like 4 or 5 inches tall, like round, it looked like a barrel. It had a foil top, and you stab the straw through it.
Well, we had little juicy things, like you know how the gallon bottle looks when you get like a gallon of milk or a gallon of something like that.
Okay.
But it didn't have a little handle, of course, but it looked like that, and it had the same top as the gallon carton. And it would have like different little flavors of juice in there. What?
I looked at the chat. And Bumble Smash says, "Them boys taste like aluminum." It's so true. That's what I was just gonna say. Is they had a blue one, which tasted phenomenal, but every flavor it tasted like there was a little bit of metal in it, and I don't know why.
And they sold these to you?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. And Bubble Smash just totally took the words out of my mouth. Them boys taste like aluminum.
Are they still sold to this day?
Yes, they definitely are.
No, that's not okay.
I'm pretty sure my grandma still buys them. They're always at her house.
They were letting you drink metal. That's not cool.
But it tasted so good. I love those.
No,
and the blue
it
ones
don't taste good. You can't tell me metal tastes good. Don't do that.
The blue raspberry, that blue one was so stinking good though.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
And that was the same deal like what you were talking about with your dad. Like I would like hoard all the blue ones or like hide them in like the back of the fridge. And so like my cousins could, because my grandma would always buy them. So we'd go to my grandma's house. I'd hide them in the back so my cousin couldn't find them. And then I'd walk out with a blue one like sipping on it and be like, "Where'd you get that? I couldn't find it."
Where'd you get that? I don't know. You should have looked harder. Grandma found it.
Oh man. I love that. I thank you so much, Bumble Smash, for that. Oh, I love that. Okay. Next question. We got a lot of food-related questions for some reason. Dan asks, what is your favorite snack or drink to have while playing video games?
It depends on what kind of game I'm playing. If I'm playing something where I have to, if like an RPG or something where I got to grind a lot of levels and I just, I want something I could eat while I'm like laying back a little bit, it'll probably be the white cheddar Cheez-Its. I feel like those are my go-tos. They're small enough. You can reach in the bag and just real quick. not too dusty, so you don't get a whole lot of dust on your fingers, and you don't have to worry about your controller getting dusted up.
Yeah.
But I mean, good thing my controller is black. I don't know why they would give you a console with a white controller. Anyway,
I was just gonna reach over and grab my PS5 one, but all I have is
I know that's what I was.
I just have my black PS5 one. I don't even have my white one down here. I think it's it's in a drawer somewhere up in the house. I don't use it because it's white. It looks cool, but not if you touch it. But don't touch it. It looks cool until you touch it.
Yeah, I'd say white cheddar cheeses are the go-to for snacking, and then for drinks, it's got to be Capri Suns, but it's got to be the Pacific Cooler Capri Sun. There is no flavor that's touching that flavor.
Very, very cool. Cheez-Its is something I haven't had in a long time. I used to love Cheez-Its. Like, my parents couldn't keep them in the house. I would destroy Cheez-Its. And then as an adult, I just never buy them. And it's probably for the better because I have much more disposable income that I could allocate towards Cheez-Its.
I can buy too many Cheez-Its right now.
It would be very dangerous if I was buying my own Cheez-Its. But for me, I think I've talked about this before and you guys gave me a bunch of shade about it. My jam is salt and vinegar chips. Now, the problem is they are super messy. Like, your fingers get horribly greasy. But you know what? You just keep a wet wipe nearby, or, just wear some sweatpants and wipe your hand off on them. And no, that's the only problem.
So you like burning a hole in your tongue is what you're telling me.
But I love aluminum flavored drinks and salt and vinegar chips.
What were you East Coast kids doing over there? Good grief.
Licking 9-volt batteries.
I guess I better drink some metal and eat some salt and vinegar chips. Boy, that sounds like a good afternoon. I love my cheeks feeling all dry on the inside because all the salt and vinegar soaked them up. Terrible flavor.
Oh, I love it. Salt and vinegar chips.
Ugh.
And for me, I'm a man of simple taste. It's like a good LaCroix, or just any, it doesn't have to be LaCroix name brand. Just any sparkling water is good. Anything that has an essence of another flavor,
Now that I can agree with. You're a man of taste on that one. But those other two, you need to take a look in the mirror on those.
I'm going to buy you.
No, you're not. I know exactly what you're going to say. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not drinking it. I'm not. You can order them right now. I'm telling you right now. I'm not drinking them. They're going to go straight in the trash.
I can buy
drinking metal. I'm not doing it.
I can buy a pack of 48 for $15.
That should tell you something about the quality of the product. If you're able to buy so many for so little, that means it's not high quality.
It's so good. Look at this.
No.
Oh, I'm putting the link in the chat so all you guys can order it for yourself. Here you go. Merry Christmas, everyone. Go buy yourself some hugs. Oh, less than 15 cents per 8-ounce bottle. How do they get away with selling them for less than 15 cents a piece? Oh, no.
Because they bribed the mayor of New York. That's how. Look the other way. Let us put these metal shavings in this drink.
Oh, my gosh. So good. All right.
Can we talk about the news now?
Now wait. Ranger of Shadow asked if there's a P.O. box for Super Gamer Boys. Oh, I wish. Because if you guys could send me all the hugs, I would take them. I would take them all.
No, you only take the blue and then be like, here,
I would
son.
only take the blue and throw the rest of them away.
Trudy.
That's fine.
No, they didn't send us any blue ones. I'm sorry.
No, my wife would kill me because they're not healthy. She only eats healthy things. That's the other reason I don't eat Cheez-Its, because she's around. The last question was just one that I thought was very random, but Shadow Ranger asked, what's the best flavor of Tums? I assume this is a question for JJ because he's so old.
It is, but I sometimes have to take them as well, depending on how spicy something is that I eat nowadays. I ain't the youngest buck no more. But when I do have to do some, I do there's like a tropical fruit, I think, or something like that flavor. And those ain't half bad.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever had a Tums in my life. It's one of those
Really?
things. I'm gonna be honest. Whenever I see
Have you
them,
ever had an antacid period? Like not
No.
a Tums, just
never,
Huh.
no, nothing. So and
it's all the
what's
metal
funny is
soaking up the
all that aluminum just takes care of it for me. It's in my system for years. I always wanted to eat them because they look like candy. They look like do you know that the Necco wafer candies, which I love those as well.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like maybe like sweet tarts or something.
No. Do you know what Necco wafers are?
I don't.
Oh, well.
Also, be glad that you don't, because they are not the most fantastic thing to eat. When you have to eat them, they are very chalky.
There, I just
because they're calcium.
I sent you a link to Necco wafers. Here, I'm gonna put this in the Twitch chat too. Here, you're welcome, everyone. Go buy some Necco wafers. They're the best candy.
Oh my God. Are they sponsoring us? Why are we doing that?
This week we are sponsored by We Bought a Zoo. Hugs
and
barrel drinks and Necco wafers. What? Oh my gosh.
And you were worried that we weren't going to be able to do it without JJ.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to carry this show without him. Yeah, well, here we are. Just making a fool of myself. Yeah, I always wanted to try them because they look tasty, but I'm glad to know that I'm not missing out. So, all right, let's do the real show, huh? How far we are? We are 40-some minutes in.
Oh my God!
It's now time.
Want to talk
for
about
the
your
nerdy
metal
nudes.
drinks? So, all right, hold on. It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Music to my ears. All right. This first news story comes to us from IGN. The headline, as many of you probably know by now, this is breaking news just today, this morning. Sony buys Bungie for $3.6 billion. Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced it will acquire Destiny developer Bungie for $3.6 billion. GamesIndustry.biz reports that following the deal, Bungie will be run as an independent subsidiary of SIE and will remain a multi-platform studio with the option to self-publish and reach players where they choose to play. Bungie is best known as the creators of Halo, but since becoming an independent studio, have focused their efforts on Destiny, a live service FPS RPG, where players can explore the galaxy as Guardians of Light. The company is also working on a new IP. I did not know that. We've had a strong partnership with Bungie since the inception of the Destiny franchise, and I couldn't be more thrilled to officially welcome the studio to the PlayStation family, says SIE President, CEO, and Adrian's best friend, Jim Ryan. In the official PlayStation blog post, Ryan begins by confirming Bungie's independence. I want to be very clear to the community that Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio and publisher. Ryan also says that Bungie will sit alongside the PlayStation Studios organization where the two groups will collaborate. PlayStation Studios will also gain access to Bungie's proprietary tools, which can be used for PlayStation Studios teams, according to the blog. In a separate blog post, Bungie detailed that what the acquisition means for the company, calling SIE a partner who unconditionally supports us in all we are and who wants to accelerate our vision to create generation-spanning entertainment, all while preserving the creative independence that beats in Bungie's heart. Yeah, so another acquisition. That's how many in January here? 3 acquisitions.
Quite a few.
Yeah, because there was the Zynga bought someone, right? Or is the other way around?
Take Two
bought Zynga. Microsoft
bought Activision,
Blizzard, and then now Sony buying Bungie. Now this is a much smaller acquisition than those ones, but it could end nonetheless.
Yeah, it could end up a boom. Now, Garrett, I would also like to. I would like to let it be known. Now we all know that Bungie has a reputation. I don't know if you know the term, but there is a term for a person who goes from one group to another, particularly women folk. They call it homie hopping. And
Okay. All right.
Bungie has
I've
gone
not heard
from
that.
Microsoft to and then they got fed up with them, to Activision, and then they got fed up with them, and now they're with Sony. How long until they get fed up with Sony?
Now, did Activision actually own them, or were they just publishing for them?
It was an exclusivity deal that Activision, I think, owned the IP at one point. That was the
Okay.
big deal when they left Activision, is because they let them go and they gave them the IP.
Okay, that's because I feel like
Destiny.
I was in someone else's Twitch chat earlier today, and they were kind of talking about it, and someone on there mentioned that, well, technically, according to this person, they weren't owned by either Xbox or Activision. They just had publishing deals with them. But I think they were owned by Xbox, and I thought they were by Activision as well, because that was a big deal when they left Activision. But
Right, that was the biggest deal. I think maybe I think it was publishing with Xbox, but I definitely feel like Activision bought them at one point, because if they didn't, remember that story that came out that everybody was popping champagne when they got out of the Activision deal and they got the IP. Like, you don't do that if it's just a publishing deal that you get out of.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, Bungie is a fickle mistress. You know, how long until they get fed up with the Sony deal when they don't get what they want? Because that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So this is my opinion. I feel like this acquisition is pretty inconsequential, at least for now. So if that does happen, who cares? Like, what's lost? Like, because
whatever new IP they were working on, I guess.
Yeah, I guess if there's a new IP, they might lose that. But I mean, up until even pretty much the whole history of Destiny, Bungie has had a pretty tight relationship with Sony anyways. Like, Sony has gotten things early. They've gotten exclusive betas. They've gotten exclusive, like,
I got
in-game items.
My PS4 was the white one that came with Destiny, because they had such a big marketing push with it. So they definitely have ties with them.
Yeah, so I feel like it's like, okay, so say in 5-6 years they're sick of Sony and want to move away. It's like, all right, go ahead. Like, we've gotten so much from you, and we're probably still gonna get stuff from you in the future. Like, I don't know. It just seems like
I don't see how this, other than money, I guess, and access to Sony's like they were saying, Sony's tools and possibly their film department, because I was reading into this and they were talking about they're looking at Destiny to become like a multimedia property,
right?
Which means that they're probably going to do like a TV show or something,
or movies or something. Yeah,
right. So it sounds like really Destiny or Bungie got the better end of the deal, because Sony doesn't get anything but the next IP, which basically is a gamble because we don't really know anything about it. So they're betting on that, right? They don't get anything out of a Destiny TV show because they have to put up the money in the studio for that. They don't get anything out of the game because it's already been out for years and it's out everywhere. They don't get anything out of the exclusivity with Destiny because they just said that it's an independent, publishing deal and they can put it wherever they want.
Yeah.
So really, this deal really seems like it's Sony betting on whatever that IP is that they have coming. And I feel like we were talking about it earlier. It's going to be that shooter.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be another shooter.
Yeah. And because that's something before. So before we go over the show notes, we brought up is like Sony does not, or has not for a while anyways. They used to. They do not currently have a PlayStation exclusive FPS game. They used to have Killzone. They had Resistance. Fall of Man, right? That was FPS, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And that was by Insomniac, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So they had Killzone by now. I'm trying to piece together. It's been so long since I've played these franchises.
Guerrilla had Killzone.
Guerrilla was Killzone. Insomniac was.
Insomniac was. Yeah.
But since the PS3 era, like they have not had any first-person shooter franchises that are PlayStation exclusive. So yeah, I could totally see that as like, okay, well, they make a killer FPS game currently. We're not going to touch Destiny because it is what it is and it has been for a long time. But whatever this new IP is, or who knows, maybe they split the the brand the team up again to thirds. They have one team on Destiny, one team on the new IP, and a new team on their maybe a different for FPS game, depending on what their current kind of project is. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be their best bet to do something like that. They have a proven formula. You know, they make good feeling FPS games. So make them
Oh,
do
no
that.
doubt.
But,
some of the best gunplay in the industry, for sure.
Now I've also seen some like speculation too, like with all the potential Sony making their own Game Pass. We've talked about that on a past episode. Is this also just kind of padding for that? Like, is that closer than we thought? Like, I guess because initially there's rumors coming out and all this stuff, and maybe possibly hearing something about it this year. But do you think this is just more padding for that? Like, oh, hey, we're gonna have the whole. You can't say they have the whole Bungie slate, because what is there? There's Halo, which they can't have.
There's Destiny,
and
that's
Destiny,
all they have right now.
Yeah, I haven't looked it up. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Because I feel like Bungie has to have something.
I don't even know if this is padding, because Destiny would have ended up on whatever Sony services that comes out anyway, right? Because they put everything everywhere. It's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation Store, it's on PC. So that's what I'm saying is I don't see how they benefit from this outside of whatever new IP that they have coming at this point in the game.
It really has to be the new IP. Yeah, looking at their old franchises, they have a bunch of Mac OS games from 1990 to 1998. They made Mac games. And then in 2001, they did Halo. Actually, they had
which
one
was supposed to come out on Mac.
They had one PS2 game called Oni, a third-person action video game by Bungie West, published by Take-Two Interactive. Interesting. But yeah, after that, it's Halo, and then Destiny and Destiny 2. So They don't have much catalog to pad out any sort of PlayStation Game Pass.
They don't.
So.
And and then if you want to get, fanboy worry over it, right? This isn't really, if I'm Xbox, this isn't shaking me either, because if you're Bungie, we have all your best stuff. So what am I supposed to be, looking at this deal for? Right? We got 1, 2, 3 ODST and Reach. I'm not.
Yeah.
And Destiny is also on Game Pass as well. What am I?
Well, Game Pass, Destiny is free to play, so
right.
Even. Yeah.
And Stadia. It's on Stadia.
It really does need to be like the only reason Sony would do something like this is obviously they know something about that new IP and they're excited about it. So I mean, yeah, that has me excited now. Like, okay, what do they got for us? Like, why would Sony spend?
Oh, I definitely want to see what it is. Right?
Like, not that. I mean, now that we've seen the last couple acquisitions, $3.6 billion isn't that much compared to what we've been seeing. But it's still a good chunk of change to just drop on a studio that doesn't have much to offer as far as back catalog. So yeah, I'm
and
definitely
who was probably
interested.
already good on their own, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure Bungie
right.
was still doing okay.
Yeah. So I'm really, if anything, it just gets me excited for whatever the new IP is. As far as this deal currently, it's like, who cares? Like it's very inconsequential to me, at least it seems. But for the future, like, okay, obviously whatever that new IP is. Someone at Jim Ryan saw it and was like, this is just going to be a sick game and we gotta pick this up. So I don't know, which should we trust anything Jim Ryan thinks or says? I don't know.
These days it's pretty tough.
It's pretty
I
tough.
don't know. He's a salesman, man. He'll say whatever he's got to say to make that sale,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. You have much more to say about that? I don't really have much more. Like, there's nothing.
I'm looking forward to seeing.
I do just want to say one thing. This is not a reaction to Microsoft purchasing Activision in Blizzard.
Not in the slightest.
I have seen so many people say that this is a reaction to that. There is no way a deal like this happens in 2 weeks. Like, this is not a reaction to anything. This would have been in the works for months. And yeah,
the litigation alone for this would have taken months. Not to mention,
coincidence.
You have to get investors on board. You have to get the PlayStation board on board with this. You know.
Well, okay. Just a second ago, I said it's purely coincidence. That may not be true, because when that big deal happened with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, apparently Sony's shares dropped by like $20 billion. So the deal is not a reaction, but revealing it at this time might have been a reaction, because...
Okay, that's fair.
Because it's like, oh, shoot, like, what's happening? Everyone's like bailing. It's like, let's show them, like, no, we got stuff coming. We're making acquisitions.
Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah. Don't leave.
So I will clarify, I guess, my statement with that. The deal itself is not a reaction, but the fact that they revealed it 2 weeks after the Xbox thing has enough time to let the dust settle a little bit, and then, hey, by the way, we're still a company that's alive and well and purchasing other studios and growing and all blah 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 to get their shares back up, I'm sure. So I'm sure it was reactionary, because they can announce it at any time. Like,
they could have sat on this until it was all the way done.
Yeah, friggin' Microsoft has announced their thing 2 weeks ago, but that's not even going to be a done deal until maybe next year. And so, like, that was their choice to announce it a whole year early. Like, they could have announced it like, hey, by the way, next month the deal's final, but they didn't. They chose now. And Sony did the same thing. They could have waited, till the deal was done, but they didn't. So I think it was reactionary in that sense, just with the announcement.
That kind of spooks me. If that's what's spurring them to move, right? Because I feel like they have a pretty deep bench. Like, why are you worried about what we're doing over here if you are confident in your own product and you think you have a lineup that's going to body us, right? What are you worried about who we're buying for? That's what I'm looking at, right? If I'm an armchair analyst like we are, right? Like, you got Spider-Man coming up, you got Wolverine coming up, you got all these different
bangers.
Right, coming out. What are you worried about us buying Activision for?
Yeah, and that's I don't think Sony was sweating too much about it. They might have been sweating about the $20 billion drop in their shares, but I don't think they were sweating about the acquisition necessarily. Like, Sony is sitting pretty. They're sitting real pretty right now with all their studios and everything. All the
they should be anyway.
Products, like, they don't have anything to worry about necessarily as far as the gaming sphere. Like we talked about on that last episode, though, like, obviously Microsoft is playing a little bit bigger game than just gaming. Like, they're getting into mobile, they're getting into VR, meta, all this crazy stuff. But but as far as the gaming sphere, like, I don't know why Sony would ever even be worried about what's happening over at Xbox. Like,
if I'm Sony, I'm like, okay, our shares went down. Okay, we're about to get them right back as soon as this next game drops.
Wait until, like, especially even with this year, like with Horizon coming out next month, Elden Ring,
Gran Turismo.
Is Elden Ring exclusive? No, it's not exclusive.
No.
But yeah, Gran Turismo. They're actually doing a state of play on Wednesday. I'm stoked about that. God of War.
Fantasy.
God of War is supposed to come out this year. Final Fantasy is upcoming. Like, their upcoming slates.
They're
like,
good.
More than enough. So yeah, that's all. I just want to throw that last bit in there, though, with the whole, this isn't a reaction to Microsoft. Maybe the announcement was, but the deal itself definitely been around a while.
Couldn't have been. There's no way.
Yeah. All right. This next news story is comes from VGC. An unannounced Kirby game seemingly teased in a Japanese magazine. A Japanese Nintendo magazine is teasing the announcement of a new Kirby game, according to a translation posted by a Twitter user. According to user Dadaoyo, I don't know how to pronounce his username. I just noticed his profile picture is King DDD, so probably DD Dowie, something like that. I don't know.
Maybe
the teaser image.
You gave it your best.
The teaser image in the January 2021 Nintendo Dream magazine translates to: new issue will release on Monday, February 21st. In addition to detailed news about Kirby and the Forgotten Land, we've also included a new game that we didn't expect. I have a feeling that a new title will be announced. It's not clear if the publication is referring to a new Kirby title specifically or just a new game of an unknown series. However, 2022 marks Kirby's 30th anniversary, and Nintendo has said to expect activity. And then there's even a little picture of the magazine on the Twitter picture, and there is like a picture of a bunch of Kirby characters. So if I was to understand that, I would think, hey, we have news about Kirby Forgotten Land and a new Kirby game. Like, why else would they? Like, it seems weird that they would announce a different game on this page that's full of Kirby characters. But
yeah, but it is HAL, so, and they work on other stuff besides Kirby.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so this is just like a little tease from a Japanese magazine. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm hoping that it's so I don't know if you remember, but back on Wii, for his 20th anniversary, they did that really super fancy like a what's the word, compilation, where they put like all the games into one big pack, and they put like all the artwork and all this different kind of stuff and flourishes, and it was a really well done, really well constructed tribute to Kirby. You know, over his it was like all the way from the first game to the latest adventure, right? So I'm hoping they do something similar for 30, where they go from wherever they left off with 20 and put all those games together and put them in one compilation too, because you have the DS games, you have the 3DS games, you have the ones that came out on Wii U. I think, what is it? Yarn, Kirby's Epic Yarn. You have the one that came out recently, Star Allies. You could put all those together in a 30th anniversary and make it like a part 2 of that, or put everything together and make a super collection of all the stuff up to the 30th anniversary. That'd be really sick. I'd probably get one of those. That would be something I think worthy of a 30th anniversary.
I could that
I just can't see them putting out two.
That announcement makes the most sense too, because my biggest confusion with this was that, okay, the next issue is supposed to come out February 21st. The Kirby the Forgotten Land doesn't come out until March, so why would they announce a new game right before the next one's like it's not even out yet? But that would make sense if it's a complete, like, it's not actually a new game. It's like a compilation of like, hey, here's a bunch of the hits or whatever of those best games or something like that. That would be pretty sick. Yeah.
I just can't see them doing two full scale Kirby games at the same time and then putting them out together, right? I feel like Forgotten Land is supposed to be the headliner.
Yeah, or unless, because Forgotten Land is very much like a 3D run around, like it feels more like a Mario Odyssey, kind of thing. Unless that's supposed to be their 3D game, and maybe they do announce like a 2D side scroller one, like similar to like their old games.
But they did that with Star Allies, and everybody was crying because it was the same thing. So I don't know what I think they need to give 2D a break. So
okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. Well, obviously just have to wait and see what comes out then. But yeah, I just thought that was a little interesting, because it's like it's not even like a big headline thing in this article. It's like just hidden inside this paragraph, like, hey, by the way, we got new news coming out next month. It's like, wait.
Yeah, but they knew that was gonna blow up. It's a Nintendo IP.
Yeah.
In an interview from a famous magazine, it was gonna get picked up.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So this last news story comes from IGN. Respawn is working on 3 new Star Wars games, including a Jedi Fallen Order sequel. EA is far from finished with the Star Wars universe. The publisher is working on 3 new Star Wars games, all of which are being overseen in one form or another by developer Respawn Entertainment. The games comprise a sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, an FPS, and a strategy game. No release dates have been offered for any of the new games. The new games in the Star Wars Jedi series, which was confirmed to be the start of a franchise shortly after its 2019 release, will once again be directed by Stig Asmussen, who led development of the first game as well as God of War 3. The Jedi Fallen Order sequel will be joined by 2 additional games set in the Star Wars universe, both of them yet untitled. One will be a first-person shooter led by Peter Hirschman, who previously served as VP of Development at LucasArts, has a long history of working with Lucasfilm, and a co-created Medal of Honor. The other will be a strategy game developed by Bit Reactor, a recently formed studio composed of Firaxis Games veterans best known for their work on the XCOM series. Bit Reactor will work closely with Respawn on the new project. Respawn founder and group GM Vince Zampella will oversee this new 3-game initiative, which EA characterizes as a new phase of EA's relationship with Lucasfilm. So there's a bit more to this article, but that's kind of the main gist of it. You can go read it for yourself if you want to read more details and more of the interview. I just thought this was interesting because EA and the Star Wars deal that ended like a year or 2 ago, right? Like it technically wasn't that like 2020 or something? Like it was officially they were free of that contract.
That Star Wars was set free.
Yeah, it seems crazy that they'd be like, "Hey, so the contract's over, but we want to tap you again. We know it's been rough in the past, so there's the one stipulation: Respawn has to make all the games." Like that's what it. I feel like if I was if I'm Disney, I'm be like, see ya. Like I'll let Respawn continue to make a Fallen Order or a Jedi sequel, because you know what, that game was fantastic. But as far as all the other IPs or whatever, like I would literally go to anyone else besides EA, because so far, what did EA do? They only made 3 games, right? They made 2
after bomb after bomb.
Yeah, they did Battlefront 1 and 2, which are bombs, and they finally nailed it with Fallen Order like a year or 2 before their contract was up. It's like
they canceled. Remember, they canceled the other game.
They canceled 1313.
Yeah. They canceled 1313. They canceled a Boba Fett game apparently that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
So
it's absolutely crazy. So on one hand, it's like, great, I'm glad Respawn, like they're a great studio, but they're gonna burn them out is what's gonna happen.
I was gonna say I'm not a fan of this, right?
No, like, I don't like.
We got out of the Disney deal for them to let anybody and everybody who had an idea for a Star Wars game make a Star Wars game. Why are we going back to Respawn for not only 1 but like 3 more games? There's so many other people out there who have ideas for telling stories or doing, Star Wars IP for a game that are not getting the chance to because everybody is so scared of experimentation. I don't understand it. Like, Star Wars is such an out there concept. You would think you would want it to be interpreted in as many ways as you can. And we've seen, just like we were talking earlier, about what happens when you let a bunch of different people get their hands on it. You get stuff like Star Wars Visions. So why wouldn't you want that same level of experimentation with the games? Are some going to be fantastic? Sure. Are some going to flop? Absolutely. That's just how the cookie is going to crumble with when you have all these different skill levels and teams on it. But you have to try. You can't just because, and you're correct, just because Respawn made 1 good game does not mean that they're the only ones that can make a good game. Yeah,
no. It's the only thing that just flashed in my mind is like the whole, well, a lot of the other studios they might have tapped are now being bought up by Sony or Xbox. So it's kind of like they can't go to Bethesda and be like, hey, can you make a sweet Star Wars game? Because, I mean, it would have to be Xbox exclusive.
I mean, they could. Yeah, they could.
They could. But, then it would, like, also now we are getting into this weird area where a lot of the good developers are getting bought up by the big, console companies, so it would be forced into a.
I mean, it's not like they aren't doing it already, because KOTOR is exclusive.
That's true. Yeah, nice. Yeah, KOTOR was Xbox exclusive, and then PC later, right? And
now the new one is PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, you're right. The new one is PlayStation. So, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, they are doing that. So, yeah.
Why not Star Wars indie games? There's a lot of independent developers out there that we've seen turn in amazing work.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So, it's very strange because they have so many studios to pick from, and they're like, nah, we like Respawn.
No. The one. They did that good thing.
You just see
they
Respawn.
made us money. We're gonna go back there.
You just see Respawn sit in the corner just sweating, just okay. Oh, whew.
They probably got the news the same time everybody else did and was just, huh? What?
Yeah,
3?
They did see the Twitter post go up on EA's like main page. Like, are you kidding me?
What?
What? Oh man. Whew. Yeah, man. Craziness. I mean, again, I'm excited because I'm sure they're going to be great, but at what cost? At what cost?
Yeah. Because you're going to end up burning them out and then closing them down just like EA does every other studio.
Yeah.
That doesn't immediately turn a $48 trillion profit in 48 hours from launch.
Yep. Man. All right. Well, I think that's it for the news this week, unless you have anything else you want to share on that.
No, I'm good to go.
All right. Well, normally this would be a week we do a Tall Tales of JJ, but, he skipped out. So here we are. We're going to go straight into our ad, and then we'll be
Hang on. I got one.
Oh.
I just want to point out real quick.
An Indie Boys or a Tall Tale?
A mini indie.
Okay, a little mini Indie Boys here for you.
So there's a game that has come out recently. It's called Later Alligator. I don't know if you remember this one. It was shown off in the Indie Game Showcase.
Okay. Yes.
It's where you literally go to a city that is it's lived in and ran by all different kinds of alligators, and it's a story-based game. It's kind of visual novel-y, kind of there's mini games and stuff to do. But the animation team, I have been following them since they have been doing shorts on YouTube. I don't know if you remember the old Spider-Man, Batman animated shorts. You probably know them if you saw them, but they have super glowed up, and now one of them is the director on this game, and the other one is running the animation team.
Dang. And
the soundtrack is by the composer who has also scored one of my favorite games, Read Only Memories, 2064. So, and the soundtrack on that is an absolute banger. So you can definitely expect some more heat on that one. I don't know what else to say. The animation is great. The writing is superb. It's only, I think, maybe like $16, but you've seen yourself with Turnip Boy when I'm telling you something hits. It hits.
Turnip Boy was killer. So according to this, Later Alligator is currently on sale on Steam for It's 35% off. You get it for $11.69. And
there you go.
Over on Switch, it is not on sale, but it's over there.
But I think it's only like $16 or something like that.
$17.99. Yeah, so it's pretty cheap.
It's worth it. Trust me on this one. This one came out, or it was in the Indie Game Showcase, and then it went under the radar, and I hadn't heard anybody talk about it since. But it's a gem.
According to the description, meet over 100 animated alligators and solve their problems. Beat them in 31 joke-filled mini-games and challenges. Uncover one of multiple endings. Oh, so there's replayability there. Multiple endings. Sneak around the city while smooth alligator jazz plays. All right, I'm in. There's some smooth jazz. I'm all about that. All right. Well, I mean, you haven't been wrong yet, so I'll have to check this one out.
Throw it on the list.
All right. Thanks for that little mini Indie Boys there, impromptu. Thank you for that. And let's get into the ad. All right, everyone. This is a part of the show where I tell you to go to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. You can support us over there and get episodes early and ad-free. Just like this show, if you're not watching it live, well, you got to wait till Wednesday to catch us normally. But if you support us on Patreon, right after the show, I do a quick edit, pump it out, get it up on podcast services for you to listen to the very night that we record it. So that's starting at $1. You get episodes early and ad-free also, such as the book club that we were just talking about, the Metroid Dread episode that just came out, jam-packed with a ton of guests, a little extra long for the January/February Patreon feed there. Fantastic episode, so go check that one out. And yeah, we have other perks as well, such as, getting show notes early, getting shout outs in the show, or if you're a Patreon producer, you can be our boss and pitch us segments. So go over there, check it out. There's an opening right now. We need a Patreon producer, so go to patreon.com/supergamerboys, support us over there, help us get to that $100 goal so we can bring you that little bonus show we want to do so badly. I want to do that show. It'd be so fun. And also, if you don't have the money to give over on Patreon, that's fine. But I'm sure you or someone you know has Amazon Prime. I would bet money that you know someone who has Amazon Prime. So if that is the case, ask them. Be like, hey, can I link your Amazon account to my Twitch account? It doesn't affect them. It's not going to cost them any money. It won't cost you any money. You literally just link the two accounts, Amazon to Twitch. And what you do is you'll get, I think they call it Twitch Game or Amazon Gaming, something like that. It's not Twitch Prime. It used to be Twitch Prime. But essentially, you get a free subscription each and every month. Now, it doesn't automatically renew every month, so you got to remember to go ahead and do it each and every month. But as long as you watch our show live, we'll remind you pretty much every week. So if you have that right now, right below the stream, you can go ahead and click subscribe. And then at the bottom, I think it is, if you scroll down, it'll say subscribe for free. Click on that. Cost you $0. We get $5 from Jeff Bezos.
Help us keep Bezos out of space.
Please, for the love of all that is, all that is alien. Keep Bezos out of space. So yeah, and you get some sweet emotes, just like you get mine and JJ's beautiful faces. You get Adrian's beautiful face. Adrian's my favorite one because he has the hype face. There's the animated one where he's just like
ready to go, baby,
just absolute hyped out of his mind. So subscribe to our channel here for free or for money too. If you have $5 throw away, we'd very much appreciate that. But you could do it for free too. I just like to tell people that. So, all right, let's get back to the show. All right, Adrian, it's that time of the show where I ask you, what you playing?
You already know what I'm playing. I'm playing the only thing that there is to play right now. The thing that I see half or more of my friends list online playing. The thing that the internet can't shut up about because everybody finally agrees that it's good. None other than Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Now, how much? Do you know about how many hours you've been putting into it?
I'd say right now I'm probably about, give or take, about 5 hours.
Sorry, the Discord kind of cut out a little bit there. About 5 hours, you said?
Yeah, give or take about 5 hours, I would say.
Okay.
That's just because, yeah. I mean, I've been doing stuff, so I try to get, as much in when I can.
Yeah. I think it's probably more than me. I think I've put about 2 to 3 hours, but that's only because I've been playing old Portable Ops on my PSP. So
I can't blame you for that one then.
But I'll let you. We're talking about Arceus right now, Pokemon Legends. So
I mean, we can talk about Portable Ops if you want to.
Oh, in a second. We're talking about Pokemon right now, though. So what are some of your general thoughts here at the beginning? Like, I know, like, obviously you're very favorable, but yeah, what are some of the things you're liking from it so far?
So I am not one of the people who were like, Pokemon has to do something different. They have to reinvent themselves. They're gonna, go under if they don't do that. I was okay with the traditional way. I still am. But I really dig that this is like a new shot in the arm for them. Like, I feel like them approaching it this way let them express a lot of ideas that they couldn't do in what was essentially a 2D space. I think that this is a really good groundwork for what I can see them eventually taking this series to. I do see this becoming the mainline way to play Pokemon in the future.
Okay.
I think that we may get a couple of more at the most of the traditional way, so that way you have one traditional game and one Legends game going. I don't know if they'll be at the same time. Maybe they'll rotate them. But I think eventually, with not only the positive reception that this new playstyle got from pretty much everybody, this is unprecedented that everybody likes a Pokemon game on the internet. Let me tell you, it hardly ever happens. But I think with the new level of freedom that it gives the development team, I can definitely see them wanting to stick with this because it gives them a lot more room for creativity and introducing new systems into the format as it goes along. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I've had nothing but a good time, and the graphics don't bother me.
Yeah, so I've been playing it, just like I said, about almost the 3-hour mark, and I have no complaints to the graphics at all. Like I think it looks just fine. Like it gets the point across. Like it looks gorgeous. I mean, compared to a 2D Pokemon game, yeah, it looks great. I mean, I know there's been 3D games since then. Like there's been Sword and Shield and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I don't have any complaints with it. I don't know what people put the stick.
You know what it is? It's a lot of people who we are old people who were there when this popped off, right? So, like, people are saying that this looks bad. Like, we were there when it was red and blue, and it was just black and white, and you moved from tile to tile on the game world. It wasn't even color. Like, this is a monumental leap forward from where we've come from. So I have no complaints. To me, this is the best Pokemon has ever looked. But
Sunday night, I was on the podcast over at twitch.tv/Pocket. So much fun being on that show. And we were talking about Legends Arceus a little bit. Neither of them had really played much of it. I was the only one. And at that point, I had only played like 30 minutes of it. And so... But yeah, we were talking about some of the hate and vitriol towards this game. We're just like, why? Like, my biggest thing I ranted on there a little bit was, why are we all why are people on the internet so entitled that they think that, I don't know, that they're going to get freaking Breath of the Wild for everything, or enter X game here.
If you get Breath of the Wild for everything, Breath of the Wild is no longer special.
Right. And so that's what I was like kind of getting at. Is like we like people on the internet become so freaking entitled. They're like, oh well, this did it, so this should be able to do it and do it better, or do it the same, or do this, that. And it's like, no. And on top of that, my argument was, we're lucky to even get video games. Like, people don't have to make video games. It's entertainment. It's for fun.
Right.
Like, it's art, and it's
can literally just get up and go to work and come home.
Yeah. So the fact that we even
survive.
Get a freaking Pokemon game, you should, I'm stoked out of my freaking mind, because, they could at any time be like, no, we're just done. Like, we're good.
That's it.
Like, nah, you
got to sit with what you got.
Yeah. And so the fact that we get any video game, like whether it's Pokemon or, Mario or Elden Ring or anything, it's like, awesome. Thank you, artists and designers, for being willing to make cool stuff for us.
Business planners,
because you don't have to.
Testers.
It is not an essential business at all. So I don't know. It just drove me nuts that people on the internet have been so crappy about it.
I've always been cool with it, man. I'm gonna as long as my brain and body will allow me to, I'll be playing every Pokemon that comes out. Yeah. So. I've been there from the beginning. I'm gonna be there until whenever my ending with it is.
Yeah. I have been really loving my time with Legends. There's a lot to chew on, though. There's a lot of cool new features.
Oh man,
that are really I'm like, okay, this is gonna. I might need to look up a wiki to go IGN and see okay, how to reread how things work, or get some tips and tricks, because boy, there's a lot going on. Even the way the Pokedex works and the way catching and battling Pokemon works, so far nothing is the same. It feels like
that's what I'm scared about, because the way that they have you completing the decks now and doing challenges now, I could see this game being like a 100 and some hours easy.
Yeah, so that is I guess minor spoilers for this game. In previous Pokemon games, you catch the Pokemon and that's it. It's in your Pokedex.
That's it.
This game,
you catch them and you battle them.
This game, you have to catch them and battle them, and there's special objectives that you have to do multiple times. It's not even just once. It's like, okay, you have to catch them 1 time, 3 times, 6 times, 10 times, 15 times.
You are literally scientifically catching them to make a data set.
Yeah,
so you can research the Pokemon, because they've never in this point in history, they've never been researched before. That is the coolest.
It is really cool, but it's also like this game could easily be like hundreds of hours to like 100% of Pokedex, because it's like what was the other one? Watch Shinx do like 15 quick attacks. And it's like, well, a Shinx doesn't do a quick attack every time you battle it. So if I go and battle a Shinx like 15 times, doesn't mean I'm going to see it do 15 quick attacks. Like I might only see it do, out of 15 battles, see it do it 4 times. Like, holy cow,
right.
Okay. Like, so it's just stuff like that where it's like, oh, okay, to complete the Pokedex, it's not just catching it. It's like you got to see it do things. You have to catch it certain ways. You have to battle it certain ways. It's like, oh man, which is exciting. It's really cool.
Like it's a scientific method. Like it's based on real scientific research.
Yeah.
How cool is that? In
real
life,
really
a Shinx wouldn't do quick attack the same way every time, so you would need parameters, which is why they base it on that. I could go on, man. This game rules.
It's really cool. It's really neat. I'm excited to play more of it. I have my Switch down here, so while the video is rendering tonight and I'm uploading to YouTube, definitely playing more. But heck yeah, I'm stoked. And I brought what you mentioned earlier, we're doing different regions. I brought that up on Pocket's show as well. I was like, now what? Like, imagine this continuing as a series and getting different regions, because this is supposed to be the Sinnoh region, right? Like ancient Sinnoh.
Yeah, but and imagine getting Johto.
And Kanto, and like all like, oh man, so freaking cool. I'm stoked for that. Like to get some more, especially to get some regions that like I was more familiar with, because for me, Sinnoh, I had never played Diamond or Pearl up until a couple months ago when it came out on the remakes.
Right.
And so I was like, oh man, but yeah, if they start coming out with some of the older ones that I knew from Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, Ruby, Sapphire, like,
and they all have historical, like Ruby and Sapphire, they have historical context. Gold and Silver definitely have historical context with Ho and Lugia. They even talk about that with the Burn Tower and all that. So that they set themselves up for these games already. Like, the possibilities, man.
So good. The only other game I've been playing was, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops on the PSP. Dude.
Also a banger.
So I'd never played it. I'd only played the mainline Metal Gear games, pretty much, Metal Gear Solid games. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, a little of 5, and then even Peace Walker I hadn't really played too much of. So jumping into this, it's technically like not a mainline, but it is in the Metal Gear Solid series. It is Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. So I was like, okay, I gotta play it, gotta give it a shot. This game is a lot of fun, and playing it too also is like I thought Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, when I first jumped into it, I'm like, this is so weird. Like, I just was not connecting with me for a while, and I think that's why I never finished it, because the mechanics of it, of the base stuff, never clicked. And then I'm like, oh, well, it's because I never played like some of these older Metal Gear games, because I think Peace Walker might be similar, and then Portable Ops, where it's like, oh, you're running squads and teams and doing all this stuff and setting up your base.
Portable Ops is like the purest form of it, and then Peace Walker more intertwines it with the story.
Yeah,
and then
and I never really experienced that back in the day. So yeah, for my first exposure to like the whole base building aspect of Metal Gear was 5, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, I just want to play Metal Gear. Let me sneak through.
And everybody's like, you are. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and so playing this, it's like, oh, okay, so this is where it all originated with Peace Walker and Portable Ops. Like that makes a lot more sense here. It's taken a lot of getting used to because of that, because it's not my jam. Like it's like, okay, like I'm almost having to relearn how to play Metal Gear. But dude, like I'm amazed at how good it looks on a PSP. Like actually, like it's a pretty good looking game. The controls
wonder
are
why I sing PSP praises, man.
The controls are a little janky because a PSP only has one analog stick. So you move with the analog stick, and then to move to camera, you have to also move. It's these buttons, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So there's been a few times where I'm literally like moving around like this, and then when I like, oh, I gotta shoot. Oh, okay, no one's around. I'm sneaking. Like,
have you checked the different control styles?
Yeah, I think there's one where you can turn the face buttons over here into to move the camera around, but then it puts the gun and everything over here. It's like, well, what if I want to like run and gun? I can't. Like, so it's like it's yeah, that's what you have to choose. Are you going to play the more stealthy role, I guess, or do you want to be able to run and gun at a short notice if you need to? So yeah, it's you're always sacrificing something. That's my only gripe so far with the game. But the voice acting and some of the cutscenes is so cool. The art style in the cutscenes is very cool. I'm excited to play more for that. And as I mentioned before, I'm playing it because I was asked to join the NPC Super NPC Radio. Is that what it's called? Their book club that they do.
Their Metal Gear book club.
They're doing a Metal Gear book club, and yeah, they invited me to be on that one. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Figure it out. So yeah, fun game.
Rad.
All right. Have you been playing anything else, or is that it?
That's it. That's it. It's taken over my life.
Same. All right. Well, let's get on here with the end of the show. Thank you guys all so much for listening and watching this week. We appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, if you love what we do and you want to help us out, you can support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Just $1 a month. Support us over there. Or, like we said, we got that position for the Patreon producer open, $15 a month. You can be our boss, pitch segments, get show notes early, get shout outs on the show, all the fun stuff, and get us closer to the goal of doing our Super Later Boys show as a monthly podcast there. And remember, if you're watching on Twitch, you can also throw us a sub, either paid or a free one. So check that out if you're watching us live at twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. sgbstore.com, where you can buy our merch. I've been sipping out of my mug all evening, drinking some mango black tea from Trader Joe's. Remember, go to Trader Joe's and pick that up. It's good stuff.
We're sponsored by Trader Joe's too?
Now we're sponsored by Trader Joe's.
We are rolling in it. Who cares about Patreon money? Look at all these sponsors we got. Good grief.
We got that sponsor money, dude. No, funny story. I got an email because we use Stream Elements for some of our alerts and stuff like that. And they sent me an email a couple weeks ago that we had a sponsorship open up. Like, and we could have taken it and made $200 off of it, but
who for?
It was for Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, brother!
I was like, no way! I am not playing Raid Shadow Legends on stream. I am not gonna become part of the meme. I'm not gonna be part of the meme.
I'm not.
Now,
I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
I could not do it. I was like, yeah, it was like easily like $200. I'm like, but to play, I'd have to play Raid Shadow Legends. At what cost? Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, obviously we didn't do that because you would have seen a live stream, all sponsored, logos everywhere. It would have been great. Remember, you can rate and review us over at Spotify now. They have reviews. So go over to Spotify, give us 5 stars. It'd be very much appreciated. Apple Podcasts, anywhere else, if your podcast app does reviews, please leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like and smash that subscribe button so you know when YouTube, our videos go up live. Shout out to, once again, Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Remember to find them on Spotify. And I think they're on other I think Apple Music, some other spots, but
yeah, pretty much most streaming stuff.
But the
SoundCloud too.
Yeah, but the links to Spotify are in the descriptions. You can find that below. You can find us during the week, supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm over at Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
At Homeboy. And yeah, that's all we have for this week. So
do I have to do the JJ thing now?
Yeah, now it's your turn to do the JJ thing.
For how did you do it, ladies and gentlemen? For gorgeous Garrett Morlang and Adrian the Homeboy Holmes, this has been the Super Gamer Boys,
and we will catch you on the flippity flop. And remember, go rent We Bought a Zoo with Matt Damon.
I was gonna say thank you, We Bought a Zoo. We appreciate you and your sponsorship. Thank you.